from the perspective of the yogi, this world is not actually a desirable place. It is not a desirable place for a number of reasons. One is that it is not actually our home. There is no permanent state here, permanent state of security or happiness. When a person is born, they are confronted with three other realities. The experience of disease, which has become so common. I mean, hardly anybody dies of what we might call natural causes now. The vast majority of people in this world die due to some disease. And disease is always accompanied with a great deal of suffering and difficulty. You only have to assist a family member who is undergoing chemotherapy or something to be reminded of the nature of the difficulty attached to any form of serious disease. Old age is something that most people will experience unless they have the misfortune of dying what is often termed as prematurely when they're young. Old age is less than delightful. All you've got to do is spend time with people in a home for the aged and watch as they deteriorate to the point where they can barely get out of bed to go and urinate or to have a bowel movement, what to speak of trying to take a shower, the inability to easily digest food, teeth falling out, body systems not functioning, the mind becoming extremely defective, being unable to cope with short-term memory issues. You can't even remember where you put stuff, and it's not like there's something wrong with people. It's not like they're crazy. The mind, which is a tool that is associated with the body, it is subtle in nature, but it is a tool that we use, now begins to become defective for whatever reason. And in this state, beginning to waste away and feeling completely useless, it is utterly humiliating. A person has gone from being strong and as a powerful individual, being the supporter of a family, the provider of the necessary finance to take care of and support a family and protect. And this role, is a significant role. And now we become subjected to, we're returning to an infantile state. We have diapers on. We're lying there shitting in our pants. I'm sorry. I'm a bit crude, but this is a reality. It's like you're back to baby land. You can hardly eat. You can't do anything by yourself, and you're faced with this trauma. This awaits us all. It awaits us all. I can remember the friend. He would tell me when he would go to visit his dad in an old age home, and he would feel great pity for his dad, who was in this very lamentable condition. And his dad would stare up from the bed, and in this voice of concern and advice, he's telling his son, "You're looking in a mirror, son. You're looking in a mirror." Meaning, what you see in your dad, you will experience this reality. And it's something that we are, particularly when our bodies are youthful and healthy, we don't have these thoughts or these ideas of this eventuality. And then past old age, there is the experience of death. For the majority of people in this world, the experience of death is extremely traumatic. Generally, family members will not be honest. They try to often hide the fact that somebody is going to die. They try to hide it from them, and they tell them, you're going to be okay, the doctors say you're going to be okay, and yet the person dying is lying there and they're feeling their body failing on them, and they're going through these experiences. They're having sometimes almost out-of-body type experiences. They're starting to feel very distant from things. They're experiencing the reality of their eventual death, and everybody around them is being very dishonest about it. And so they're all alone. And even if you have your entire family gathered about you, that moment when you are to leave this body, you are utterly alone. Utterly alone. You have no idea where you are going and what is going to happen. And it is like you are being forcibly evicted from your house. You know, if some government agency shows up with the police at the door and they tell you you've got to leave your house for whatever reason, and tell you you've got to do it now, you can try to hang on to the doorway all you like. And when they've got you and they're prying you loose and forcibly evicting you, there's nothing that you can do. This is the experience of death for many people, if not the majority of people. And it is very, very unfortunate. So, having taken birth in this world, we are confronted with a very unpleasant prospect of what's awaiting us down the road. And we like to stay busy, we like to stay occupied, we like to try and find ways to stimulate our senses and so-called enjoy this world, and generally try to be oblivious of what it is that we are going to be facing. We don't really want to be that serious about life. You cannot be serious about life unless you are also very serious about the fact that this life will come to an end, this life and this body. When we consider that a person enters this world, a little baby enters with a vast amount of baggage, which is coming with it from a previous life or lives, and this individual will be forced to accept the result of previous action, good and bad. If we understand this and we accept this as being a reality, then an intelligent person will begin to question, well then, how should I live in this world? If I understand that both good action and bad action result in me being bound to this world, then it is like, God, what are my options? What are my options? And so we see that historically there have been a class of yogis or sages, rishis, who have chosen to step away from the world and to try and live a life where they are not engaged in any external activity or very minimal external activity, seeking to become liberated from this endless cycle of birth and death.